Does play 2 copies though for Fabio. Does prize the what's that one? What's that one called again? Dondo's again. Tatsuguri is in the prizes. I forgot about that one there. I'll be honest with you. But we got there. There's the fist bump. Swiss round 5 feature match getting started here in Gdansk. Fabio is starting us off and has led that Victini. That makes your evolution profile one do an extra 10. So, Emily, while Fabio does this buddy popping, I'm just going to have a little quick explainer for the people about this Ethan's Typhlosion deck. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't know what it does.
Well, I don't blame anyone either. It was a deck that did come out of the Journey Together set. And Ethan's Typhlosion, the more Ethan's Adventure supporter cards you have in the discard, you do 60 more damage. Now, granted, Shay, you're only allowed to run 4 copies of one card in your deck, aside from energy, right? But you're maxed out to these 4 copies of Ethan's Adventure. So if you're able to get all these Ethan's Adventures into the discard, and you can play them, right? You can play them for what they're worth, or you can do something like a Ultra Ball double discard of them, and you can start stacking up your damage. But Ethan's Adventure does allow for you to grab a combination of things, right? You can grab Ethan's Pokemon and basic fire energy. You can only grab 3 though, but still, I mean, once again, it's a great card, and it also, you can grab it from the deck with Ethan's Quilava, the ability bonded by the Journey, where once during your turn, you can go and search for that Ethan's Adventure card. So once again, the combo potential on this deck is massive.
It really is, and quite honestly, if that Ethan's Typhlosion, if you get like all 4 Ethan's Discovery and discard pile, you attach your fire energy, you don't care what's in your opponent's active, it's going to get discarded. And worth noting as well, they can play stuff like the Brave Bangle to boost that damage up by 30, and they play cards like Gravity Mountain to get those stage 2s back into range. Now bear in mind, that won't be super relevant here, so let's keep an eye on, as it does get sent to the discard pile, funnily enough, off that Earthen Vessel. So the game plan for Fabio is simple. Try and get some Ethan's Quilava, get Ethan the discard pile, and start swinging with Ethan's Typhlosion. And quite honestly, it can get devastating for Gabriel if that was to happen. So Gabriel's going to try his best to end this game as fast as possible. It is over to Gabriel, though. Remember, they just get the top cut finish there in Lille. And it looks like there's Dipsy in the active, debating on what to play. We do see the Zoroark in the hand turn 1, funnily enough. That makes your opponent discard to have 3 cards in their hand. And here is the buddy popping. So Gabriel is playing the En's Zoroark archetype. And Zoroark has that trade ability, long-term pledge. Remember this. Discard discard a card from your hand to draw 2 from your deck. And it's attack. Night Joker for 2 dark energy. Use any one of your En's Pokemon's attacks as this attack. Now, the only other En's Pokemon Gabriel is playing is that Reshiram that you see there. Powerful Rage basically reads, I do twice as much damage to you as on myself. So if I have 100 damage on the En's Zoroark and you attack, you 200 back. Virtuous Flame for 4 energy, or 2 with Night Joker, just as a flat 170. So Gabriel's game plan is simple. Get the En's Zoroark out, draw a ton of cards, and then keep announcing Virtuous Flame or Powerful Rage over and over again. Now, there is a little bit of spice in the Petron EX. You can substitute and change to poison your Pokemon, and then you can use cards like Bind and Mochi to actually boost your damage up a little bit. But yeah, there's some other little interesting things that I don't think Gabriel was playing in Lille, such as Janine's Secret Art, Emily.
Yeah, this one's very interesting, where you can choose up to 2 of your dark Pokemon, and for each of them, you can search a basic dark energy out of the deck and attach it to that Pokemon. You shuffle, of course, but if you attach to your active Pokemon, it's now poison. So you were talking about a little bit earlier, Shay, that Binding Mochi tool that we had, right? So a nice way to get yourself poisoned, you have a couple of outs to it, right? You have the Petron EX to bring yourself into the active, getting out of something like a Corner Trap, if it was applicable here, or a counter by Yveltal, but still, we have a ton of ways to kind of modify this damage and hit what we need to hit. Now, granted, once again, this would be really important into some of these big stage 2 decks like Dragapult EX, but once again, we have to be mindful. I mean, Virtuous Flame is going to be able to hit Typhlosion, but still, look at the Cyrano coming down for the turn.
Now, I wonder, is this where Gabriel's going to reveal the spice that I was alluding to earlier? No, he's going to get the 2 En's Zoroark and the Petron. Remember, there's actually 2 En's Zoroark in the prize cards as well, so that's not super ideal. But the Cyrano letting you grab 3 EX Pokemon. Now, I think the reason Gabriel is playing the Janine Secret Art, he's actually playing, I'll reveal it now, a Mega Absol EX. He wasn't playing this in Lille. Mega Absol EX. Obviously, we know this 1 Claw of Darkness for 3 energy does 200 damage. You can discard a card from your opponent's hand. Now, I wonder, if you're squaring off against a stage 2 deck, Emily, do you think a Zoroark plus Claw of Darkness, or even just Claw of Darkness on its own, would that be a route you try and weave in, or?
I mean, of course, right? We want to limit as many options as possible here. Fabio is playing a deck where it does and it can require a couple combo pieces, especially if you already have that Ethan's Adventure in hand. You don't really have anything else, right? If you can't safely grab your Quilava to grab another Ethan's Adventure, the combos are gonna kind of hurt here. So I'm interested to see how Gabriel's going to weave in the Mega Absol EX as well, just because once again, we have ways to power it up where we're going to be able to hit for higher than just 200, right? That could be really good onto one of our Terra Ogre Pawns in format as well. But so far, so good. This is a great turn from Gabriel. Pretty set up here. I don't see the out just yet to our En's Reshiram here, but honestly, we get the energy attached. We already have the 2 Zoruas down, and we're just going to pass. And honestly, Shay, I don't think we need to do anything else.
Well, we are going to see the evolution into the Quilava. Bonded by the Journey activation. Grab an Ethan's Adventure from your deck. Now, with this turn attachment to the active from Gabriel, I wonder if he's going to try and eye up some cool arrow, perhaps, or you just use that just to get out the active. We'll keep an eye on that later. But for now, Ethan's adventure is going to enter the hand, the backbone, the engine, and the damage modifier of this deck. When you play it, you search your deck for any 3 in combination of Ethan's Pokemon and basic fire energy cards. And that means you can, this is really good, because not only do you get used for playing this card, but every time you do play it, your damage gets real ramped up, as we are going to see that conclude for Ethan, Cyndaquil, the Quilava, and another Cyndaquil as well. And here comes the second bonded by the journey. So that means we've got one in the discard pile, one in the hand. This could start to get out of hand real fast.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Fabio knows that there's no direct attackers that Gabrielle can copy right now. So it's not necessarily the worst thing. We are going to have 4 Cyndaquil down on the bench as well. So we're starting to already get set up here. And another thing to point out here too, Fabio is not playing another 2 prize Pokemon, right? No Pheasantipity in here, no Mew. It is just straight single prize attackers. So I'm interested to see how he's going to be able to handle it, especially because it's just a pass back. But look, we already have 2 Quilavas on the board, Shay.
Yep, with energy as well. There's going to see Zoroark evolution on the bench. Serrano, that was by trade, not being played. So discard that, draw 2. There's the other Zoroark worth noting. Only had 2 available to him. So they are now both in play. There's the trade. Get rid of Zerosic Machination. So that will not be a factor in this game unless we start seeing some power pad action to shuffle it back in. But it looks like well, so we've got a turn attack, we've got supporter still. I'm not really sure what we're... does it play ends PP up? Does not. No. So it looks like Janine's Secret Art is the only way to accelerate energy.
Well, I like where you were going a little bit earlier, Shay, where Pheasantipity is technically a dark type. We could accelerate to the active and use secret, or we could use Cruel Arrow to go on ahead and, you know, get rid of something on the bench, right? Especially with this energy, right?
Oh, there it is.
And that's the line that is going to be taken here. Pheasantipity will get poisoned, but it is definitely enough to get one of these Quilavas down, or even one of the Cyndaquils. But honestly, Gabrielle is going to play this turn, but it's such a weird prize line now at this point where yes, you can absolutely hit with this Pheasantipity here. But once again, if you're not taking a Quilava this turn, we're going to start seeing the kind of mastermind of this deck, right? We're going to grab at least 2 more Ethan's Adventures next turn, and we're going to start to be able to hit for those big, big numbers, especially if we see that Brave Bangle modifier. And
it's worth noting, Fabio does play a copy of Shaman, opted not to get it down, so this Call Arrow can access the bench with, there is the Petulant as well, so that's going to get rid of the poison, so there will be no cheeky poison damage being used there. Love that. Subject getting changed, in case you must know, switches a dark Pokemon into the active from your bench, and then the Yveltal has 3 retreat costs, so that's how you can get the Pheasantipity right back there. So now with the supporter being used, Petulant being used, turn attachment and a retreat, I don't think there's a terrible amount we can do this turn. It's like debating on whether to bench and Zoroark. Remember, 2 Zoroark are prize. But there is the Cruel Arrow, 100 damage to 1 of your opponent's Pokemon. We're going to KO a Quilava. And that's our first prize card taken here. Emmy in our Swiss round 5 is over to Fabio.
This one's going to be interesting, though, as we did see the draw for turn. We do have a Quilava down. I do believe, and just according to the prizes, we do have access to all of our Ethan's Adventures. And there it is, the one that we grabbed from last turn here, to start grabbing potentially another Quilava so we can grab that final piece. It all matters is if we have the Ultra Ball in hand, right? If we have the Ultra Ball in hand, we can attach to the Victini, bring it back to the bench, and bring our Ethan's Typhlosion active, and then we will definitely be hitting for at least 240 without a Brave Bengal modifier here. But that's going to be a first 2 big prizes for Fabio coming down here. But as you can see, we're prioritizing the energy as well. And here we go, 2 more Quilavas coming to the bench here. And this is what we're going back to, Shay, right? Ethan's Typhlosion, when it hits the right matchup, you are able to stack for these huge amounts of numbers. But if your deck is not playing a kind of combo piece where you can at least get both 2 Cyndaquils down in a turn, this prize trade is not your friend.
It's really not. This is poetry in motion right here. We're going to get 4. Well, potentially we could get 4 in the discard pile here. And that just means we are just announcing Buddy Blast, turn after turn after turn. Now, here's an arsenal. You have to be a little bit careful here, because Gabrielle does play Clutch Yveltal. These Victini only do 30 damage for 2 energy, so we have to keep an eye on those. But they are, the reason there's that Victory Cheer ability, your Fire-type Evolution Pokemon do an extra 10. So right now, Buddy Blast doing an extra 20 before you even consider looking at the Ethan's in the discard pile. But we're going to see a turn attachment, retreat, I should say. And then we are going to see the Evolution as well. There's the Brave Bangle, an extra 30 hitting into an EX. Was that an Ultra Ball in hand? Oh, we don't need it, though. We're going to take the big Buddy Blast KO. Wow. Ethan's Typhlosion is off to the races. 2 prize cards taken. Now, Gabrielle, what can you do? Going to use Artisan first?
Yeah, we're definitely going to use Artisan first to grab the Monkey Dory, but you alluded to a play a little bit earlier, Shay, that I really like, right? I think I saw in Gabrielle's hand a counter catcher, and you brought up the fact that these Victinis, well, yes, they help your damage. They don't really do much in terms of an attack here. So honestly, Fabio was actually better off by just playing down the 4 Cyndaquil and then saying, hey, I have 5 energy in my entire deck. Every single thing that you bring up is an attacker, but we can can absolutely go for a clutch play with this Yveltal, and now starting to see the lines come together here, but still has to play a supportive return at some point. But another big thing is we're barely going to see this Mega Absol, but like we said, and like we were talking about, right, it is definitely going to be the clutch play here, maybe even seeing the energy switch from the Zoroark onto the bench so we can at least get that damage down here. And I'm just looking right now, I don't believe we play a way to get this Victini out, so it might just be stuck here. Yeah,
so viewers, this is the problem. Clutch for 1 energy does 20 damage, as Gabriel is going to play in Lilies. Yeah, does 20 damage, but it stops your opponent retreating. Now, what's really devastating about this is that the Victini, first of all, it doesn't power itself up with its ability, so it's only going to do 30 damage back. That sounds good, right? You'll eventually get to your Yveltal. No, you won't, because Gabriel plays that Monkey Dory. Adrenabrain moves 30 damage from your Pokemon onto your opponent. So in theory, if Gabriel was to just keep announcing, was it Flare, I think, on Victini into Yveltal, Gabriel can just move that 30 off and then just place it wherever he wants. So unless Fabio can sort of maneuver this Victini, we could get into a little bit of a stalemate where Gabriel can just slowly build his board up and then try and build up what he wants. And maybe the Mega Absol does get shuffled in off the Super Rod, so maybe... Or was that a Fez, actually?
It's the Fez. That was knocked out last turn.
Okay, got me excited there, but there is the Fez as well.
Got to shuffle that back in as well.
Got to hit the board. Does he have a nest ball or something?
I think I do see a nest ball played down. Maybe that's just a little bit out of sequence.
Just underneath. That does look like an N there, so maybe I had the nest ball. Shuffling it in by the Super Rod. I'm going to grab it by the nest ball. But always picking up the Yveltal. Oh dear, this is what this Yveltal's for, though. This might be the rude awakening, right? Where it's like, and that's the problem, right? Like, you were able to knock out these this two-prize Pokemon with tons of just help from your Victinis, but now your Victinis are actually actively hurting you, right? No penny in the list, for example, to get this Victini out of play. Or even just a switch, Shay. Nope, nothing here. So this Victini is probably going to stay stuck. Oh, no. I'm going to see subject getting changed. Retreat first. Do we have a Mochi? Looking to increase damage? Oh, nope, just going to use...
Yeah.
Just going to use Clutch. So that's 20 damage, and that Victini cannot retreat as well. So it is over to Fabio. And yeah, without any switching cards, he's stuck with what's in his hand. And this is where, if he had the perfect board state of just Ethan's Quilava, Cyndaquil, or Typhlosion, he's like, well, bring up what you want. They can all attack. Now, however, Gabriel has got a route to try and slow this game down and get back in. There is Ethan's Adventure number 3 hitting the discard piles. That's an 180 modifier for the Ethan's Typhlosion. Remember, it's 40 plus. That's 200 damage right now. That is going to grab Ethan's Typhlosion, and then another energy. So we're going to... I mean, this is the board state you want if you're an Ethan's Typhlosion player, with an Ethan's Typhlosion in the active, of course. But, you know, triple Ethan's Typhlosion, oh my goodness. Yeah, not looking too good, though, if we're on Fabio's side, right? I mean, once one Victini goes down, you can just keep saying pass back and forth, right? There's another one, technically, and still going to attack, or attached into the active here, so we could potentially start seeing those attacks here, but definitely going to be time for Gabriel to get something going as well. But I can only imagine, Shay, it is just going to be one of these, just clutch, making sure that we're protected here. We'll see how exactly it's going to go down, but I feel like I see the writing now. Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, sure, we can slow the game down here. Serrano being used again. Grab 3 X's from your deck, put them in your hand. There's Mega Absol. Got a nice special illustration there. One love that. But, I mean, this is all well and good if you're Gabriel, right? But you're not really winning the game this way. So I'm intrigued to see how... I wonder if doing the subject getting change poisoning was just so if Fabio doesn't attack, at least you start having damage to start moving off with Adrenabrain eventually. So Serrano's going to conclude grabbing the 1 Mega Absol. We still have trade ×2 ready to be used here, of course. That is Buddy Popping getting discarded 1-2. Yeah, so what do you think the end game is here for Gabriel and Emily? Because, I mean, this is all well and good, but we're not going to win the game doing this. I mean, once one Victini goes down, you have another one to kind of buy your time with as well. I think we did see Zoroark's Machinations actually be discarded a little bit earlier. So if this had become something like a Pass War, for example, we could see something as detrimental as maybe even going all the way down to a deck out here. We did see Adrenabrain being used. Sorry to cut you off there, though. No, onto the Ethan's Quilava. Yeah, I guess one reason actually you couldn't use Zoroark's Machinations because then Fabio could just discard all the Ethans, couldn't he?
I mean, that's also fair. Counterplay. Counterplay. But you can see already kind of what we were alluding to a little bit earlier. Well, yes, and Zoroark doesn't have the Ends Darmanitan here. We do have alternate ways to start moving things around the board, and especially because Fabio is definitely not playing a copy of Monkey Dory and a Dark Energy or a Luminous Energy in this deck here. We're going to be able to start seeing a little bit more of the combo pieces here.
The Flare, it was just a turn. No, it only counts Evolution Pokemon. It doesn't count Evolution Pokemon. I know that. I know that. I've tried to cook with this card before. Only 10 for each Evolution Pokemon, so it doesn't count itself. Which is actually interesting, because if it did count itself, that means you couldn't just Monkey Dory all the damage back, so we'd actually start progressing the board state. But unfortunately, Victory Cheer does not. So it is over to Gabriel. One Binding Mochi actually hit the discard pile. I believe there's played 2. No, that is his only copy of Binding Mochi. So keep an eye on that. It's like we are going to see the Adrenabrain, and this is what we're talking about. You see how we can just maneuver this damage back? That Ethan's Quilava only has 50 hit points now.
Yeah, and the thing is too, right? I mean, this Victini will go down eventually, right? But Gabriel is going to end up getting what he wants, which is technically a multi-prize knockout, right? We're going to start to be able to take the Quillavas and the draw power off the board here, and then when it's time, we can bench that Enzo Reshiram and starting to use its attacks to get things going here, but still Gabriel free to kind of roam through this deck as well. If things get a little bit scary, you noted it out a little bit earlier, we do have Professor Turo's scenario as well. Considering playing, it does go to the front of the hand, and it will be played this turn. Wondering what we're actually going to pick up here. It will be the Fez. I do like that. Just once again, we did see it go down a little bit earlier, and now once again, we are back to this all kind of send the damage back type of board.
Because it is worth noting, was board but here's the Mega Absol. This is something I'm really interested in now. Does play the Hero's Cape. Do you Hero's Cape up the Absol? Basically saying, you are not one-shotting this. That is not happening, thank you very much. And I'm going to start ripping cards out of your hand now. I think, I don't know, has the time for Mega Absol been and gone? Now that, the board is set up, essentially. Maybe could be trying to line up some terminal period plays, perhaps. But then I guess Claw does always one-shots anyway, but that's 2 energy, not 3. I don't know. But there is the hero. That is a heroic Mega Absol. Now look at that artwork for a second here, folks. That looks like a heroic Mega Absol, if you ask me, giving that Mega Absol an extra 100 hit points. So that is a 380 hit point basic Pokemon. It is worth 3 prize cards, though. Keep that in mind. But it is going to be, I think we might have got a bit excited. I think we just saw the clutch. And then, was that just a pass from Fabio? Opted not to attack, so I'm not giving you extra Monkey Dory damage. Interesting
that you're talking about the Mega Absol, Shay, just because, while yes, it is going to be able to go up into very, very high hit point territory, it is really important to note that the only copy of Professor Turo's scenario in the deck has also already been used. So that Mega Absol is here, and that is worth 3 prizes, right? So at this point, Gabriel has to do whatever he can to make sure that Fabio doesn't take another prize, because he very well could lead up here.
Emily,
but this is what we're talking about.
2 energy have been committed to that Victini. He's going to do the exact same thing on the next one. Gabriel saying, well, if you're not going to attack, well, then I'm just going to make musical chairs a little bit longer. So we're going to see the clutch is over to Fabio now. Oh, dear. And this is what great players do. They find lines, they find the awkward matchups, and they work out how they can try and win on the fly. Here is a nice stretch. I imagine going to get back a basic energy. How many energy does this deck actually play?
Because I do see 5 in the list, and there isn't any prize. So we do have 4 currently now on the field.
Got 1 more energy.
Right. But the question now, Shay, I want to kind of bring up here is, if we don't want to knock out the Victinis...
You do see a pass, by the way,
We don't want to knock out the Victinis, right? But that leaves the energy stuck there, right? So if we start monkeying and using Adrenabrain to the Ethan's Typhlosion here, could we just keep the energy stacked on the wrong Pokemon?
I think that's going to be what you try and do. At least get as many prizes as you can, and then just try and Mega Absol at the end, perhaps. We are going to see Adrenabrain, though. As you can see, this Ethan Typhlosion hasn't even hit the active spot yet, and it's taken 110 damage, only 60 damage away from being carried. The 2 full uses of Adrenabrain, and thanks to the poison, Gabriel is getting damage in play, regardless whether Fabio attacks or not. There was a turn attachment to that Mega Absol on the bench as well. Keep an eye on that. I do believe that is going to be involved in Gabriel's endgame at some point. Worth noting as well, there's a lot of things to keep an eye on in this matchup. Gabriel's bench locked, and there is no other ends Pokemon in play, so Night Joker is not an option. So we have to keep an eye on that. The ends Zoroark are just trading and drawing cards right now.
Yeah, this one's just so interesting, because you kind of can see where Gabriel is going with this game 1, right? Keeping the energy on the wrong Pokemon, and then potentially going into Mega Absol when we have an opportunity to get rid of all 3 of the Typhlosions, right? If we have enough time, if Fabio doesn't realize that, honestly, it could just be, let's play this to time, because already we're halfway... Our halfway point is almost here at this point, right? So if we lose this game 1, we got to get to a game 2 as quickly as possible here. But I could see something along the lines of Gabriel going for something like, let's stack up all of this energy onto the Typhlosions and then take them out, and then your only attackers are 2 Victinis.
Yeah, and that's not going to be good. If you do see the Ultra being played there, Fabio did top deck the redeemable ticket. Then you liberate some cards out of your prizes if you have prized those Ethan eventually. That wasn't the case this one, though. And that is going to grab Tatsuguri from the deck. Now, Fabio, if you're not liking this active lock-in, don't you dare put that Tatsuguri down, because that's going to be the exact same situation. Keep that in your hand, my son. It's getting out of depth for thinning, so it is just going to be a pass. We are going to see the poison tick over. 5 damage counts on you that are worth. In mind, viewers, keeping in mind, I should say, sorry. Mega Absol has 3 energy on it. There is Adrenabrain use again. So that is like, what, 150? No, 140, sorry, on that Ethan's Typhlosion.
We're getting to that scary point, Shay, right? Where we can just keep this Victini stuck in the active and then just kind of bully the Pokemon around it. And that is kind of the masterful showing. And this is kind of what Zoroark has turned into, right? Kind of this weird bully deck where it says, hey, if you've expended your resources, or if you don't have resources to get yourself out of the active, guess what? You're staying here. And I can just kind of choose and pick where I want my damage to go.
Worth noting, we did see the clutch, but then we did see a Boss's Orders top deck from Fabio. Now, Bosses, again, but with the subs getting changed, the boss actually isn't that helpful. So it's just going to be the pass over. Yeah, Gabriel's really got a bit of a checkmate scenario there.
Yeah.
Worth keeping an eye on cards in that deck. Now, I believe Palpad hasn't been played.
And he's got multiple Ionos.
And he's got Iono, so we're not going to get any deck out victories here from Fabio. At least not now. But this is interesting, isn't it? And this clutch Yveltal was a really important. We see it in the Mega Absol Kangaskhan deck for this exact reason, letting you get back in the game. A bit like how Dragapult does counter catch Itchy Pollen. This is a bit like you counter catch Itchy Pollen. All right, let me just. Ooh, I'm gonna draw 2 cards. Okay, what is there something specific he's digging for here this turn?
Could be that penny. Could be big, right? You are able to, in comparison to Professor Turo, you pick up only basic Pokemon, but you can actually keep the tool, right?
Yeah,
so
and energy as well.
Could be going into something like using the penny to pick up Mega Absol and then maybe using Hero's Cape on something like Yveltal. Like, it could be. Maybe. That would be like my wildest line that I could think of here.
Picking up something just so you have an Ends Reshiram in play. But there is the KO. That Evens Typhlosion has sat on the bench, hasn't hit the active, but it has been KO'd. Gabriel Fernandez, what, 35 minutes has just taken. Oh, and here we go. Boss's orders into the other Evens Typhlosion. We are going to see the retreat, I think. Oh, and then that Mega Absol. Oh, he's tempting us, isn't he, Gabriel? he's toying with our emotions here.
It's a good idea.
That hand is very big, though. Claw of Darkness, I imagine, isn't going to be a game winner on its own. But it would KO. Evens Typhlosion only has, I say only, 170 hit points.
It's very important to notice.
I've just realized, if he KOs this Evens Typhlosion, he starts to find a basic energy to attack with the other one as well. If you're Fabio. Well, I think that could be what we're debating. We are going to see the subjugating change retreat into the Mega Absol.
It's going to be pretty important as well, Shay, because we always talk about the Claw of Darkness, which of course does 200. You're able to reveal your opponent's hand and you get to discard a card. But look at the damage counters stacked up on those Victinis. If we could read Absol's first attack here, if your opponent's active has 6 damage counters on it, it gets knocked out.
If you get rid of the Ethan, that actually finds the basic energy that Fabio needs, right? But then it also powers him up if he can find it via other means. There was a boss's orders in that hand which you can discard. Oh, this is actually really interesting. Gabriel discussing the discard pile. Going to go after the super. I don't mind that, actually.
Fair.
Okay. So this is really scary. Ooh, this is, wow.
it's so hard to say, right? Because Ethan's Typhlosion is all about how many things do I need to get into the discard and what do I need to attach onto my Pokemon in order for me to get these one-hit KOs. And something interesting, once again, about Penny, right, is that once Mega Absol starts taking this damage, we could just Penny it up and then go back into our bully Yveltal clutch plays. Like, there's a lot of things that we can do here, but we are going to go back into this Victini here.
Well, this is the thing. Ethan's Typhlosion, I bet Fabio hasn't got to announce Buddy Blast with 4 Ethan Typhlosion in the discard pile and not take a KO, and you really don't want to be doing that if you're Fabio. So, is the basic energy?
No.
Oh, there's no basic energy in deck.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a rip that super rod discard from Gabriel quickly. Was there any Night Stretcher even? I know there's a Night Stretcher in the discard pile. How many does he play? Only plays the 1. I don't think there's any way. Oh no, Lana's Aid. Does that get back energy actually? Does that do anything with energy?
Yep, it does.
Okay, so Lana's Aid is what we're fishing for here. That can get you back, is it 3 energy from the discard pile back into your hand? And that was in deck. So there's boss's order. I don't mind this. I mean, it's the most awkward thing to try and remove if you want to try and remove it because you can't subjugate and change that one. And it's going to be the pass here, not going to attack, of course. All right, so Gabriel has no cards left in his deck right now, so we'll need to play a Power Pad or an Iona at the very least. Going to try to break, take the little mid-turn KO there on that Victini. Oh, wow, Gabriel, what a game this has been from the Maestro from Brazil. There's the Penny, going to remove that Monkey Dory. Going to get your Dreadbrain again. Oh, this is going to be game Claw of Darkness. Gabriel Fernandez, the Maestro, wins that game. 0 cards left in his deck. Yveltal, Clutch, Adrenabrain, and then Claw of Darkness at the very end to snatch away game 1.
You blink and you miss the end game, right? This is what we were talking about.
So fast.
Keeping the Victinis on the bench long enough for the poison damage to go on ahead and give Gabriel enough time to combo in so many of these Adrenabrains, making Monkey Dory, once again, one of the best cards that I think we have in Standard, and for so many reasons, right? But we did get to see Mega Absol actually come into the fray here. Now, it's definitely not out of Fabio's hands at all, right? I think he's realized the mistake of, hey, if I just have Quilavas and Typhlosions and that's it, we could definitely get this going here. But once again, a masterful display by Gabriel about all of these damage counters, Shay.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I feel so vindicated at the start, being like, I wonder if Mega Absol's going to get used with Hero's Cape, and eventually we saw the end game. But as soon as that second Victini came down, I was like, oh no, I know what's going to happen. That Yveltal did exactly what it needed to do, gave Gabriel more than enough time to pick his opponent apart, and then in the very end, Adrenabrain usage ×2, thanks to that Penny, was enough to close the game out with that Claw of Darkness from that Mega Absol, and that's all she wrote for game 1. Now, I wonder if you're Fabio now, surely you can't bench anything else, right?
Well, you really hope that you don't even start the Victini.
You did start the Victini in game 1, to be fair. So there was one already knocking about. But yeah, it's one of them where I feel as if you have been on the receiving end of the clutch Monkey Dory shenanigans like that, it's really easy to walk into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Especially when Fabio's not playing a switch card. That's kind of what got him into this scenario kind of in the first place, right? Not even a Professor Turos scenario. Shay, what did you see?
Emily, he's led a Victini.
Oh no!
He had to put one down.
It's the worst case scenario,
it's
Shay.
The worst case scenario.
As we see prizes going down here.
Let's consult these. Heroes Cape and the Ginny and the Penny, actually. Keep an eye on that for Gabriel, all of which we saw get used massively in game 1, but it is over. Gabriel's laughing. What's in the hand? Why is he... There's open up Buddy Buddy Puffin. Why was he laughing so? I need to consult the hand.
Well, still, though, I mean, as anybody who is going to play these evolution decks, you can't ask for anything more than going first and finding your Buddy Buddy Puffin, right? That is very key to your setup here. As you said, the prize cards, well, yes, the A-Spec is in the prize cards for Gabriel. It didn't really come into play last game, but now it might be a little bit more important here. We'll see how he's going to kind of fend off without even a penny in the deck as well, because maybe some of those combo pieces with Monkey Dory are unable to kind of reach us at this point here. Definitely doing the prize check, of course. It's definitely not a bad turn one from Gabriel, so I'm wondering what he was smiling about here.
I wonder if he was smiling that Fabio led the Victini again. Maybe Fabio was like, oh no, Gabriel was like, oh no, yeah. So I know Gabriel has the Clutch Eval in hand. I know that, I saw that, so. But yeah, goodness. And this is the interesting thing about Zoroark, right? Whenever I try and play decks in this format, I try and play decks that like going first, because a lot of the time all the other decks want to go second.
Agreed.
So it's like Fabio had the choice to go first or second there. Obviously go second still, because I'm assuming he plays like the Evolution, Arven stuffs. But then that means you're giving Gabriel his optimal thing of going first, and it just means, you know, when you're one game up and then you get to do your ideal start going first or second, just makes winning game 2 a lot easier. Yeah.
Still, though, it is going to be all about what Gabriel is kind of checking for here. I don't see anything too detrimental, as he is just going to take a quick look and write down some of his prize cards. Prize checking, I think, is a skill that you really got to learn when you start playing this game, right? Especially when you're playing decks with combo pieces, for example, when you're playing decks with one-ups, for example, making sure that you have access to essentially everything that you need, and knowing your lines when things aren't available is going to be kind of a big thing here. But just, that's Pokemon trading card game basics, if you will.
It is, especially could be more prevalent in a weekend like this on the back-to-back, where, you know, some cards have been changed. A lot of these cards wasn't in Gabriel's deck last week, so, you know, isn't used to playing as many reps with this version of the deck versus others. So you want, you know, you want to make sure everything you have, you know, is available. So you don't make plays like, oh, if I draw into Heroes Cape, I win this turn, and you don't draw into it, and you won't have this prize. You're like, oh dear, that would be unfortunate. So it looks like that turn is going to, well, that Buddy Buddy Puffin is going to conclude, I should say. Going to grab 2 Zoroark.
I think it's also important to note, just because we haven't talked about it, this is the first time that we're actually seeing Gabriel Fernandez on a regional stream in his Masters division, I believe.
And what a campaign it's been. Got the finals in Belo Horizonte, top 8 here in Lille, and now 4-0.
Not bad.
What a start to your Masters campaign, right? There's like your Vettel, the MVP of game 1. Wasted no time getting that in play, I'll tell you that for free. Is that a one-up? I just played 2 copies, actually.
Yeah, you got it. It's such a, aside from Lily's Determination, which I think is one of the best cards to come out of Mega Evolution, this Yveltal is also very good. But Shay, I don't know if you saw Fabio's hand, but I saw a plethora of Buddy Buddy Puffins.
I saw 3. Can't even conclude them all for maximum effect. Yeah, who needs Precious Trolley, eh? Just open 3 copies of Buddy Buddy Puffin. So it's going to open up there, letting you grab 2 basic Pokemon with 70 hit points or less and pop them straight onto your bench. Now, let's see. This will be really interesting. What does this second one grab? Oh, we're going to go for Arven. I wonder if we're going to try and keep this low-key this time. All right, 2 ends Typhlosion, do your worst. I wonder if that's what he's going to try and do.
But the thing is, Shay, we don't have that much time left in this round,
this is
right?
A fantastic
and
point.
The thing is, if Gabriel, and according to our rules, if Gabriel wins game 1, right?
Yeah.
And we go to time and there's no finish from Fabio in this game number 2, it is going to be Gabriel taking the set 1-0. So it is really important that we actually go as quickly as possible here, which is why we're seeing the Arven for the for the technical machine evolution, so we can get into our Kolabas as quickly as possible, so we can find those Ethan's adventures and then start discarding them as quickly as possible.
And it's worth noting the item taken was a rare candy. So Fabio really saying, we're going fast gaming here. If you try any shenanigans, I'm just going to rare candies for Typhlosion anyway. But there's a technical machine evolution, a backbone, a staple of this format. They only involve 2 of your benched Pokemon for 1 energy, and then it discards itself afterwards. Now, again, this would have been fantastic. We have got a Victini there, though, so as you did say, Emily, you know, with time starting to become a factor here, if that Yveltal starts to have its talons all over this game, then the time wars are really going to start to have its way here. But it is over to Gabriel now. Evolution does conclude. 2 Ethan's Kolava are currently in play. Over to Gabriel.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm Gabriel at this point, with Cyrano already in hand and going to be played, this is an easy pluck for 3 Zoroark EXs. And then we can start going to the store and start trading here, and as much as we want to, right? But if I'm Gabriel, honestly, I'm going to look at the time and I'm going to play to the time, right? This Victini is already stuck in the active. We don't want to let anything else hit the active spot here. And especially if we want to, you know, mitigate as much prize loss as possible here, we just lead with the single prize there. Once again, we've seen from last game that Fabio doesn't have an answer to this clutch.
Yeah, no, it really does. I guess even not Boss Orders, KO and a Kalava is also fine. What you definitely don't want to do is leave that Victini. You definitely don't want to KO the Victini, that's for sure. I think I'd rather leave the Victini in play versus KO it. So it looks like the Serrano is going to conclude 3 and Zoroark have been taken. Now you can shuffle the deck, of course, and evolve all 3 of them. And you see an extra 6 cards thanks to trade. What a ridiculous ability when he gets folded. An extra 6 cards?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if that was a supporter card, discard 3 cards from your hand to draw 6, everyone will be playing it.
Yeah, and then you stack that on with something like a Lily's Determination, and you can count how many cards you see in one turn here. But I know when at Worlds 2 years ago, when and Zoroark with the ability trade was announced, I know I was in the crowd with a bunch of people just screaming hooray. They love this mechanic of trade. Discard 1, draw 2 here. We'll see how Gabriel is going to kind of work with this turn, because I don't think he has an energy
I was about to say, I haven't seen an energy yet. We still have 2 uses of trade to get there, though. Ooh, not yet.
No, and that's really important here, Shay.
So we can't be using Janine's Secret Art to sort of get that energy in play.
Has to evolve the final one here, too. But the problem is, Shay, if we want to get this Zoroark out of the active, we would need to attach another energy to it, which means we can't clutch. And we also just got rid of the air balloon as well. So a weird caveat here. We do have the energy, but there's Pecharunt, though. This is how we're going to be able to get it into the active. I was just about to say it, and Gabriel finds the answer here.
Love that. Done well. Letting you subjugate and change your battle into the active, bypassing retreat cost and all that shenanigans, and then you can do a rinse and repeat at game 1. Keep that Victini there thanks to clutch. And again, the self-poison, basically saying, if Fabio, if you don't want to attack, that's fine. I'm getting this damage into play no matter what. Fantastic play there, Emily. Yeah,
I loved it from Gabriel. Really able to kind of weave it all together in the end, especially where this comes to a point, right, where what you're trading away is actually really important here. So will be the clutch and back on over into Fabio's turn. And thus I ask once again, Shay, what do you even do here when this Victini is going to stay here for quite some time?
Well, you can get 3 Ethan's Journey, right? That's good. There is no way to discard
Ethan's
them.
Adventure,
oh, sorry, Ethan's, the ability is the Journey, isn't
Bonded
it?
by the
Journey. There we go.
What a great ability
That is a great ability name, to be fair. Bonded by the Journey. I'm sure, it'd be better if it was Bonded by the Journey without Victini right now. That's what he's not part of the Journey, at least right now.
Parentheses without Victini.
Without Victini. Victini, what are you doing here, Sunshine? We don't need... You're not... But yeah, so we can get 3 of those. That's great. However, there is no Ultra Ball to get rid of these. So we've plucked them all from the deck. And this is where if Gabriel was to do something like playing our own, that'd be really mean, putting them all back to the bottom again.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like 1 is going to be played, though, grabbing 2 5 energy and Ethan's Typhlosion. But yeah, you're right. I mean, against anything else, this would be a monumental board state right now. You'd be laughing. I bet if you were to tell Fabio against anything else, turn 3, this is your board state, like, I'd love that.
Yeah.
However, well, we're going to see the flare this time. Okay. So that's an extra, 30 that does, right? 30, and then the poison, that's just 4. Are we bench locked? 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, we're
not.
I was just about to bring that up here, where we're going to start to see Gabriel try to piece together the Monkey Dory attach and start moving the energy about and around once more. A couple of trades. The Buddy Buddy Poffin does not grab Monkey Dory a little too high here. Could use the Lily's Determination if he really wanted to here, but he could also just trade away here. But it will be the Lily's Determination, shuffling the hand back into the deck and drawing 8 cards.
Hasn't taken a price budget.
Yeah, no, final...
Just debating it.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Playing the Poffin down just to burn it because you don't want to draw back into it. And then playing the Lily's Determination here just to get a fresh 8. Just because Gabriel has not lost a prize card yet. Yeah,
one of the interesting, differentiating factors between Lilies and Iono. If that was Iono, you can leave the Buddy Buddy Poffin for later. But since Lily does shuffle the deck, there is the odds that you draw back into it.
Yeah.
You mathematicians out there, you work out the odds of what's better to play in any given scenario. So just getting rid of that Buddy Buddy Poffin. Joint 8, what a backbone supporter card here. Though we'd love to see Monkey Dory plus energy, any combination. What are we going to see?
We still also have a trade as well, Shay, too, so we can keep going as well. See another Buddy Buddy Poffin. I'm not seeing the Monkey Dory or an out to it right now, so we have to trade.
Energy? Does this have to hit Monkey Dory plus energy?
Yeah, this is not great here. Now, granted, Gabriel's still in a fantastic spot, but what are the 2 cards? A Watchtower, and I believe that was either Mega Absol or Pheasantipity here. Definitely not what you want to see. So honestly, the Flare here, if we're unable to find something, could potentially see a knockout, but we know that Gabriel has a couple of draws for next turn. I wouldn't be too worried, but still, definitely does not feel good when you lose your opportunity to start sending the damage back twice as hard.
Yeah, and the thing is, if Fabio gets out of this Victini somehow, right, if it gets KO'd or, can even maneuver out of the active, we have to just announce Buddy Blast 3 times, and Fabio can quickly tie this game up, because there's a multitude of 2-prize Pokemon that Gabriel has put down, right? Just Buddy Blast, Buddy Blast, Buddy Blast, game 3, please. So, it does have a little bit of maneuverability, but unfortunately, Clutch is still live right now. Ethan's Adventure, has been used. I'm going to grab 1 Ethan's Adventure and the Ethan's Typhlosion, it looks like. So that's what, 2 in the discard pile now. Still no way to discard from the hand, so it's going to be the Flare. That's 90 100. Ooh, that's going to get KO'd coming out of Gabrielle's turn, actually, thanks to that poison.
Was that the Monkey Dory? That could have been the Monkey Dory as the... No, it couldn't.
We still have 3 trades, though.
I missed the hand. I do see a Psychic-type Pokemon. It is the Monkey Dory. So we just have to find the energy, Shay.
And you could Janina if you find Janina as well. Oh, no, it's not a dark type. Monkey Dory is not a dark type.
I was about to say.
No.
So we actually just have to find it the good old-fashioned way here. 3 trades to go, 6 cards. What are the chances you miss? And honestly, we'll see. I do see Monkey Dory dark. I don't know what Gabrielle's really looking for here.
Boss's orders, perhaps?
Ooh, potentially, right? To keep the Victini energy over there because he knows if he moves the damage with the Monkey Dory, that Victini gets knocked out. And here comes all of Fabio's aggression right there.
Yeah, Papa Energy Switch was the ones off there. What is he?
Last trade here. We'll see what exactly is going to get pulled. I see Counter Catcher. Doesn't actually apply here.
Yeah, not live.
Might have to give it up.
I guess he doesn't really want the Yveltal to get KO'd.
No,
I guess
not
if he
at
was
all.
to move, you could move 30, but then you carry the Victini. Yes, it's not quite a great situation here. I guess you move the damage on somewhere else, perhaps, actually. But there is a Adrenaline Brain that is live, thanks to that Monkey Dory energy attachment. 30 damage to play with. Onto a Quilava. That essentially heals 30 from Yveltal, but will take 10 because of the poison.
And then we'll eat a Flare next turn as well.
Flare, so that'd be the KO, right?
Yeah, with the poison going into the next turn. Not exactly what you want to see if you're Gabrielle. You really needed something like a Boss's Orders this turn here. Wondering what the supporter for turn is going to be. We have exhausted all of our trades. Maybe a Turo scenario would be the point here, but we've already actually attached for turn Shay onto the Monkey Dory, so we wouldn't be able to continue up the Yveltal lock here. See how exactly it's going to go. There's the Professor Turo. I think it is going to have to be the grabbing of Yveltal off the board here, but the question is, what do you give out?
Yeah,
it might just have to be the Monkey Dory. Oh, okay.
Okay, I mean we're not at KO range yet.
Well, it's the energy switch back in. Oh my goodness!
Of the subjugating chains, of course.
And we're back. Beautiful stuff by Gabrielle.
That's some gaming right there. Subjugating chains, just maneuvering those dark Pokemon about. So now he's done what he needed to do. Heal the Yveltal. Energy switch come in the clutch. Then you have 2 essential energy attachments a turn, and there's the clutch. 10 damage on Yveltal, 20 damage on the Victini. Oh, and it's just, was that a flare? Not even an Earth and Vessel with Ethan's adventure. Okay, so there's just a flare back over to Gabrielle, not Ethan. It's Ethan's Pokemon.
Just cross out the name on the scoreboard and just write Ethan. Anyway, we do have a couple, we know what Gabrielle is trying to accomplish this turn, right? Not to take out the Victini, but more so to trap one of another Pokemon here. See how the line is exactly going to go. I would also say, Shay, that taking a double knockout here is not necessarily the worst here.
Machinations hitting the board. That means Fabio has to discard, so he has 3 cards in hand. Now, that's going to be a 3-way to get Ethan's adventure, of course. There's a Buddy Puffin. There's a Tatsuguri. Wow, there's a Victini. There's a Rare Candy.
It's all going away.
All going away. Wow, still has... Whoa, this is a good value Zoroark here, isn't it? Still has to discard. Good debate. Now, interesting. If you get rid of the other Ethans, finding energy could be hard. Does have one in the hand still. But wow, what was that? Was that 7-card discard there?
Yeah.
After... Wow. Now, this is where you'd love to partner out with a Claw of Darkness, right? I don't think that's happening this turn, but that would be the dreamer scenario. But there is Zoroark, the evil genius himself, with them evil machinations, discarding 7 cards, and then we do get energy attachment to Monkey Dory, so Adrenaline Brain is now live, essentially undoing the flare damage at this point. So the Yveltal's only taking damage thanks to the poison. Wow, love that. Love this cheeky Zoroark.
Here's the key problem here, right? When we're looking at the attack, right? Do we want to attack and get that Victini down? It's kind of a weird situation we're in. Do draw into another Yveltal, so we could definitely be seeing that next turn. We'll see how exactly Gabrielle wants to handle it. But if he does clutch again, that is going to be the knockout here, which is going to be the green light now for Fabio. We'll see what he can get done in 4 minutes, Shay. Can he win this game and at least take us to a tie?
Now that would be entertainment, wouldn't it? That would be Pokemon game. And there's the evolution. There's the evolution. Gosh, show us another one as well. Having to count those energy. Oh, yeah, you really cannot afford to swing for a 1-prize KO here. But then that Zoroark removes all options. Was it Lana's Aid, energy, and was it... Oh, wow, yeah. And then the evolution, that's all we got. There's the Lana's Aid, though. Just going to go back 3 Pokemon, non-EX, and basic energy in any combination. It's going to take 2 energy. There's a Buddy Blast. That's definitely a big KO there for Fabio. As he gets on the board here in our Swiss Round 5 Game 2 feature match here at Gdansk Regionals. There is no more clutch targets now for Gabrielle. It's going to have to play this the old-fashioned way now. And let's see, 3 minutes, 22 seconds on the clock. Yeah, how will this pan out?
The prize mapping here is really important from Fabio, as once again, the end of time rules have changed. Instead of +3 turns, we're just at +1 here. So we'll see how exactly Fabio is going to be able to tie it together here. But still, once again, it will be Gabrielle using Zoroark EX as a favorite ability, and it is going to be trade here. It does have the boss's orders. We could see something along the lines of maybe trying to boss the Quilava and seeing if you have the final piece. That could be something with a clutch here, because we do know that Yveltal, again, has hit the bench. That would be 1 out to it. Or if we just want to try and maybe even, well, we can't even bench the ends Reshiram. So really just going to have to be, it will be bossing the Quilava and seeing what Fabio's got.
This is interesting because this could be a read from Gabriel saying that you played an Ethan's Adventure not for full value earlier. You didn't take an Ethan's Typhlosion. Have you prized it? Because if you prize a third copy, then what does Quilava do? 40.
Combustion for
Does
40.
You know, and you can adrenaline brain off 30 of that. So let's see. I think that's the read Gabriel might be taking here, or maybe trying to attempt in. Saying, have you even got a third copy of Ethan's Typhlosion? By bringing it up into the active and announcing that clutch. Wasting energy.
It also gets rid of the kind of 2-2-2 prize trade that we could be going for, right? So we're mitigating, even if Fabio does have the opportunity to grab an Ethan's Typhlosion and get another prize card here, it is just going to be for one instead of multiple here. So once again, slowing down the clock, Shay, we are down to about a minute 40 now. We have to see how Fabio is going to play around it, because you know Gabriel just going to be clutching all the way through.
Yeah, he's trying to clutch his way to that 5-0 record right now. Let's see. Still got some trades available as well. It looks like, oh no, his Artisan getting discarded. I thought it was going to be the Mega Absol there. Oh no, he's so important in game one. Well, let's leave him around for a second. I'm going to use trade again, buddy pop him. But it looks like there's the clutch. 10 from Poison is over to Fabio. The dreamer scenario here would be Boss's Orders, Evolution, and Energy. And right now,
Kieran
with the switch, though, the switch effect. I mean, you'd love that if you could swing for multi-prize care, but it is going to get him. And we forgot, Kieran is a switch effect. Just didn't draw into it in game one.
I totally missed that in the list as well.
That. Yeah,
one of the supporters that actually has a choose one option. You can either do some more damage to your opponent's active EX, or you could just switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench. Now, granted, that was the supporter for turn, but it definitely got it done, right? But still, once again, Gabriel always has a Yveltal in the back pocket that we can always send to the front with that Pecharon EX.
Come straight back there. And wow, have we got another boss's order? We have.
Oh, come on, Shay. We know we got it. We always got it.
Clutch, wow. So all Gabriel has announced this turn, as we do see, is something getting changed. Clutch and then one Claw of Darkness, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Who's then Zoroark? He's just there to draw cards. We haven't announced Night Joker.
No, definitely
trade.
Not.
But it looks like, we are going to see some more trade activations here as well.
But still, time has been called, so it is going to be Gabriel's turn 0 here. But I don't know, Shay. I have a bad feeling that Fabio's not going to be able to take 4 prize cards in a single turn.
So look, did top deck the Ethan's Typhlosion. Let's go out in a blaze of glory. Buddy Blast, Professor's Research. Draw some cards. But viewers, if Fabio cannot win, take 4 prize cards this turn, he will be out. This game will essentially be null and void, and Gabriel will win this best of 3. 1-0, but there is the handshake. Gabriel Fernandez advances to the perfect 5-0 here in our Swiss round 5 feature match here in Gdansk, clutching his way to the 5-0